Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I don't know, maybe we'll do an Eden run. We had an Azazel run last time. Okay, I should be able to know this. It's definitely spider butt, obviously, but what gives you that weird blood on your face? Blood bag. So we must have more HP, but that doesn't really help us out. We have more than we would have had by one. However, our HP is still somewhat variable when we start out with, so we could have 2 or more HP right now, which is actually, it's good to know that on an Eden run with Curse of the Unknown. It actually seems like our shots are quite large as well, like larger than you would expect for your starting shots. It will definitely use Spider Butt. It's once every 2 rooms. Might as well throw it out here and, you know, at least get a little bit of extra damage done to these guys so they're a little faster to take out. Okay, thank you for the extra penny. But what I was going to say is that it's really good to know that you have a little bit of a buffer when it comes to HP, because Eden Curse of the Unknown can be a little bit nerve-wracking. You know, you start out with anywhere from, like, well, you could have 0 HP and just have, like, 2 Spirit Hearts to, you know, 3 HP. So I think it's good for us that we know that at the bare minimum we have to have at least 2, and maybe more. Yeah, okay, we'll place 1 bomb to get a cent and 2 bombs. It's a pretty good deal as far as I'm concerned, and honestly, this is one of those Eden runs where the items that we start with, I'm not super impressed with. You know, we're not starting like Godhead, Sacred Heart, or anything like that. However, I'm pretty impressed with the starting stats. Like, the actual damage coming out of our Eden here is not very bad. And the rate of fire is actually pretty good as well. There's nothing worse than starting with just, like, shit damage, shit rate of fire. Okay, so bad trip obviously is not something that I'm super excited about. There's nothing to say with respect to the last run. Anyway, by the way. There's no hope. I mean, it wasn't that there's no hope, it's just there's no hope of making it seem, like, more tense than it actually was. We pretty much, as soon as we got to the first item, as soon as we hit the random button, we knew exactly, you know, how that run was going to go down, and it only got better and better as time went on. Alright, so Spider Butt, actually a pretty nice counter against Larry Jr., does a decent amount of damage, might hit multiple body segments at the same time, and makes it so that we are sitting pretty, basically, against one of the bosses who I consider a little bit, like, slightly above average in terms of difficulty for this stage of the game. Not super thrilled with Magic 8 Ball, unless... the moon's alright, we'll pop that right now. It's going to allow us to get some extra bombs, and let's go hard on this one. See if I can pick up, well, Liberty Cap is not worth 4 bombs, but let's see if I can get some good, like, attribute upgrades here. I'm glad to have Liberty Cap, don't get me wrong. Bad gas, not good. Health up is amazing. Speed up is very good, and bad trip is not good yet, but will be good in the future, and actually tells me right now that we must have more HP remaining, because if we were on 1 heart or a half heart, I think this would become full health. And we still have more HP remaining, so we could actually be at 5 health. Shielded Tears, I wanted that on the last run, but we got it on this run. I'm not going to complain too hard about that. And Lust Fight, which actually seems like the perfect opportunity to use Spider Butt. I'm going to tell you straight up, I have no intentions of going to this big room right off the bat. Big rooms, do we know? Hey, pretty fly, excellent. Big rooms on, like, the first couple of floors I find more annoying than big rooms in the late game. Unless the late game big room is like Super Envy or something like that, which does happen all the time. But anyway, so like Super Envy plus Envy. But anyway, I'm gonna skip over it because when you're doing low damage and you don't have many synergies, I don't like dealing with like 80 flies. Let's see what we have now, though, HP-wise. I'm very excited to see. Oh, never mind. I guess we'll find out on the next floor. That does make things a little tricky from a deal with the devil standpoint. I don't necessarily want to get myself killed. Just have Curse of the Unknown, like, the entire run. That would be pretty wild. That being said, though, like, that's really the only negative thing that we've got going on for us here right now, is the fact that we don't know our HP. Everything... Oh, I probably just cost myself a deal with the devil there. If not there, then definitely there. Alright, so that's what I get for saying that things were going very well. Should definitely have used Spider Butt earlier on that room. Poor play. Very, very poor play. I'm not going to go to the curse room just on the off chance that we had, like, 6 Spirit Hearts to start with. I don't know, man. It's not too likely, but with Curse of the Unknown, that's exactly what it is, you know? It's unknown. Just in case you didn't understand what I was saying a second ago. This room, these guys are super slow, and our damage is decent enough that I think we'll save Spider Butt for our next room. There is still a small chance. Not even... It depends on your definition of small. There's an okay chance of getting a deal with the devil. Depending on, you know, what we fight and Whether or not, maybe I didn't take red heart damage, you know, maybe it was just spirit heart damage. Although I'm very skeptical of that, considering how many times we've been hit. Another pretty fly is awesome, and let's go fight our boss, which is going to be double Monstro with 2 little helpers, which is actually a pretty nasty draw, but... I mean, it's a pretty nasty draw relative to other Monstros. I probably should have been hit there, but I think Shielded Tears probably saved me. But Monstro by himself is like a pretty much, you know, the most gifted draw you can possibly get in the game. So even like the hardest Monstro is still easier than, well, the Haunt, obviously. I would take this over Gurglings as well, just a little bit easier to stay out of the way. Let's see if we get super lucky here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No, that's fine. I would love to know how much HP we had, though. Truth be told, a Tears upgrade is pretty awesome. I mean, it's awesome at the worst of times, but when you have Shielded Tears, the ability to outshoot your enemies is extremely valuable. Our HP has to be extraordinary right now. We could be as high as 8. We might even be able to be a little bit higher than 8, but, you know, that's all I'm confident stating right now at the very least. But no deal with the devil, but 8 HP is a pretty okay position to be in. At least we didn't, like, completely fuck ourselves. And the extra damage upgrade is nice, too. At least we're not completely fucked just because I didn't gain momentum right off the bat. And we will, come down here to our curse room and see if maybe we can pick up a... I don't know, I was thinking maybe, like, Guppy's head or something like that, but... I guess we shouldn't really complain too much. Please, at least don't give me Curse of the Unknown on the next floor. That's all I ask. Let me at least get some equilibrium point, like a calibration point. That's the term I'm looking for, even though I understand nothing technically speaking at all. We have 7. That's a lot of HP. I can live with that. But, let's try to stack up at least 1 Spirit Heart in our favor, so that we can have a chance to trade some of this HP away for even more offensive potential, which would leave us in an amazing position. Because, truth be told, offensively speaking, we're actually doing pretty nice right now. Started with some good stats, and then, this is okay. I'm glad we got that speed upgrade pill, because Taurus is going to make us much slower. But the Small Rock is actually a really underrated damage upgrade. Like, a lot of people go, oh, Small Rock, that's pretty good. And I was one of them for years. But it's actually, Kate wisened me up. She knows the wiki more than I do. She said it's like it's a 1 damage increase, I guess, which is the same as the mark, only you didn't have to trade for it. Whenever people get, or whenever I get the mark at least, I'm always like, oh shit, it's the mark. That's pretty great. Might as well take it right now. But when I get Small Rock, I'm like, Small Rock, oh, that's pretty good. I guess you don't get the Spirit Hearts or the other stat upgrades out of the Small Rock. But still, for free, it's a darn good deal. It's the Ceremonial Robes of Tinted Rocks. I hate that, I don't even know what you'd call it, like, writing device. It's the blank of blank. I hate it, but I use it all the time because, you know, that's how I was taught. I hate whenever, like, games journalists or other YouTubers or even myself compares games to Dark Souls that have nothing to do with, like, you know, the tone and atmosphere of Dark Souls. But I do it all the time, man. One of the most common complaints I get on Let's Look Ats is people like, don't compare this to The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. And I'm like, I know, man, but that's my jam. I have to compare it to Rebirth. Rebirth is like my gold standard for games with roguelike-ish elements. So whenever I play a game with like some roguelike-ish stuff going on, I'm always like, well, it's a little bit similar to The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. It's not necessarily to be clever, it's rather just to give you a point of reference, you know? If someone asked you what tuna tasted like, you'd have to say, okay, tell me what tuna tastes like, but don't describe it using any other meat. Well, that's kind of difficult. You know, you gotta have a point of reference along there somewhere. Let's go see what we got in here. Alright, could be good, could be terrible. And it was okay, basically. Tears upgrade is very nice. Let's continue to do some exploration, because we're a little bit ahead of the curve here. Like, that's the thing, you know, you gotta compare things to other things if you want to give people... It's the easiest way to describe something, I think. But I can slow down on the Rebirth comparisons a little bit. Although, literally, it dominates, like, all of my waking thoughts. Occasionally, there's, like, conspiracy theories. This happened in, when I was playing Vanilla for so long as well, but people will be like, Northern Lion doesn't even like Rebirth anymore, he just plays it for the views. Literally, like, on my flights back from PAX, I was like, I'm gonna play, like, 8 or 9 hours of Rebirth, I think. That sounds like a great time right now, so that should dispel that notion, unless I'm just making that up, in which case you can't trust a fucking word I say, can you? No, we weren't in Kenya, we were in Boston, not Addis Ababa. Shh, that's fucking Ethiopia, Northern Lion. Kenya's Nairobi. Come on, man. Didn't you even play Mario is Missing? Let's see what we got in here. It's probably not worth 2 keys. You know what? I'm a bad cookie with a real history of breaking little hearts like the one in me. So I will sacrifice 6 HP to pick up 9 lives. Because that's how hard I believe in 9 lives, and I mean that sincerely. I'm not even taking this as like a, oh, look at me, I'm Northern Lion, I'm so zany. You already know. No, but for real. I just think that that's actually the right choice to do in this situation. At least for me, I prefer to go a little harder on the gambling side in order to get high damage. And we can do that with this setup, because now we can trade away, like, literal lives for items. And then all we gotta do is eventually start doing enough damage to come away with this one. Big fan of when Taurus chose to pop there. I think that's Liberty Cap, like making our speed higher to start with, which made it quicker to pop Taurus, which made it a little easier to pop it in a terrible situation there, but it's not like we could have done much about it to begin with. So unfortunately, I'm an idiot, and we've lost our Spirit Hearts. I mean, some of... Oh, shit, I made it out. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to be hit anymore here, so I got to be extremely careful. But part of it was in a constructive fashion, like I went to the curse room. Part of it was not in a constructive fashion, but that's okay. Very much looking forward to being able to replace Spider Butt. I hope that happens shortly. Magic Fingers, huh? Well, it's pretty much the ultimate example to be careful what you wish for, I guess. Magic Fingers is not bad, but the only time I really like using Magic Fingers is if I already have enough money to know that I'm not going to have to worry about money. Or if I don't have any other spacebar items. I mean, that's a good supply of money, but right now, like, with 22 cents, you're not going, oh, I've got money to give away. You're going, sweet, that's like 1 consumable and 1 real item from a shop. You're not quite at the balling out of control territory yet. We got a Spider Butt this one. I just wanted to wait until maybe we got a kill out of it so that I could open some space. And this is actually a room where Taurus is extremely helpful. Okay, that's very, very good. And I'm gonna try to blow up some shrooms, get some pills. We've had pretty good ones so far. A Tears upgrade's nothing to sneeze at. And that's our full Halo of Flies. I feel pretty good about that. Let's try this again. See if we can get something good here. What is this one? Full health. Oh, so it's a bad trip pill. I'm taking Lemon Party because I really want to make sure that I can get through this boss fight with the best chance possible of getting a deal with the devil. Now, we did get a deal with the devil on the last floor. I wouldn't say it was really a deal, though, so much as just like, here's your free sampler pack, and it kind of sucked. So I'm hoping we got a good chance here, but it's going to involve not taking any damage on this fight, which admittedly should be very doable. It becomes like immune to Taurus effects after a while here. The only way we should get hit here, probably time to use Spider Butt. The only way we should get hit here is if we go beneath him and get hit by Brimstone, because Shielded Tears will protect us from his ones that kind of fly out in a radial pattern. We didn't get a deal with the devil, but we picked up Pentagram. Pentagram, in some ways, is the next best thing, because that does give us a higher chance of getting deals with the devil in the future, and it's a damage upgrade, which is just nice to begin with. In this situation, I think it's justifiable to take Nun's Habit. Nun's Habit and or 9 volt plus 2-room charge items. It's a nice combination for me. I enjoy it a great deal. Probably should stop shooting as I enter rooms that have, you know, like an enormous amount of TNT barrels on any side of them, and I only have 1 HP. Although, truth be told, if we lose this life, it doesn't really matter all that much. Kind of hoping for a crawl space there, but it was a little bit of a tall ask there, I'll admit. So how am I feeling about this run so far? I'm still, I'm on the fence. I'm not at all anxious about it, and I mean that sincerely. Like, I'm in a pretty okay position. This might be where we want to use Lemon Party. Just want to get him to, like, move first. Get some poison down. It's going to be very hard to use Lemon Party now. Or is it? Yes, it is. Oh, or is it? Good, okay, now just use some of his own medicine against him. There we go. He should be dead before he can jump again. And Mr. Mega Maw is going to be inside of the lemon party as well. I guess he doesn't count as a flying enemy. I never really considered that he would, but he kind of looks like he's flying, not just resting on the ground. Timing's still all right here. The obvious, somewhat surprisingly, based on how the run started, the obvious problem with this run right now is our lack of HP. So the real question, I think, becomes... Well, we got enough of these pills that we can use one right now. The real question, I think, becomes, do we have enough advantages in terms of our damage and our utility in order to overcome our HP disadvantage? And I think the answer to that is maybe. And all of it is going to depend on, you know, the items that we get in the future, which is just the easiest comp out of all time. Of course, our success in Isaac largely depends on that to begin with. However, that chance of getting good items, I think, is increased based on the fact that we do have 9 lives. Not only because we could kill ourselves 8 times taking awesome deals with the devil that we maybe otherwise couldn't afford, but because in addition to that, we have a good chance of becoming Guppy. So, in short, I think if you're watching a run like this and you're like, I'm anxious because you don't have very much HP, you're missing the upside. Taurus is very helpful as a utility, and I guess offensive and defensive item as well, but this is not a run to be anxious about. You shouldn't be thinking I have 1 HP. You should be thinking I have 9 lives. Which is true, but it's a subtle distinction, you know? Instead of thinking I can only mess up once, think I can mess up 9 times. I think it helps, man. I think that kind of like conceptual change makes a big difference. I'm a very for the most part, this is gonna sound like a lie, but for the most part I'm a pretty logical person. And I don't really buy into a lot of things that don't necessarily have scientific basis. I'm not hinting at anything specifically there either. It's just in general. But I do, you know, morale has a big impact on it. Thank you very much, Kate. Kate, did you know when we were playing Monster Hunter on the airplane yesterday, somebody joined our game and was like, "Are you Northern Line?"
Yeah.
That was actually the PR person that handles Monster Hunter for Capcom.
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
How did you know that?
They tweeted me today, and they were like,
oh my
you know,
God.
It was good playing with you yesterday. That's so weird, huh?
I should have asked for swag. God damn it!
I think
Contact me. Contact me at proboxstudio@gmail.com.
she's probably not watching this right now.
Oh, God damn it.
Because, you know, she handles Monster Hunter PR for Capcom, not the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. But it's possible, I guess.
Then how would she know who you are?
I don't know. We've tweeted before.
Maybe she watches you.
Because I tweeted before. No, I tweeted before, and I was like, just in general, I was like, is it possible to spoil Monster Hunter, or is it unspoilable? And she was like, it's pretty much unspoilable. And I looked at her profile, and I was like, oh, you do PR for Capcom.
Oh my God. Give us the free swag.
Don't give me the free swag. I don't want it. But you can give Kate the free swag. Not because I don't like Monster Hunter, but because it's a weird conflict of interest type thing I just prefer to avoid if it's just gonna, you know, result in a free pillow or something. But anyway, was there an invisible enemy on this room? There was an invisible enemy on this room. Come down here, please. There we go. Liberty Cap or Blue Baby Soul? Well, definitely, for me, Liberty Cap, but we're gonna end up, like, accidentally picking that up, like, 5 times. Alright, so we should have a good chance at a deal with the devil on this, oh, jeez, a deal with the devil on this floor. I just have to not get hit, and then everything should work out in our favor. Now, this is not the easiest enemy to avoid getting hit by, but with Taurus, if we could just kill the heart first... Ah, man, we kind of blew it a little bit. If I'd moved around a little bit less, it would have been awesome to kill the hearts. And then just be able to use, Oh, never mind, this is going to be super easy. It would be awesome to have been able to use Taurus against the mask, though. A deal with the angel, we're really, like, out of step with where I would like to be on this run. But, some extra HP, I guess. That sorts things out from that perspective, but we got a long way to go here. In order to get our damage to the point where it needs to be, or where we'd like it to be. I'll tell you what, we're just going to move back here and drop that back there so we don't have to pick it up 100 different times. How do I feel about anti-grav? This is an item I've been getting a lot lately. Well, not in videos necessarily, I can't remember back that far, but... Ooh, we got a nice little shield of, shielded tears, basically, thanks to anti-grav. But I like it, and I think the benefits of it compensate for the perceived negatives of it. You know, the obvious negatives being it's a little bit harder to aim at enemies that are very, very mobile because you don't know where they're going to be. All you have control over is where you're gonna shoot. We don't want this yet. I mean, we want it, but we're not gonna use it yet. That was actually surprisingly close there. But I've been getting this a lot on off-camera runs, and I really think that it synergizes nicely with items like shielded tiers. You can make yourself like a nice little shield that will protect you pretty easily, especially if your rate of fire is high, which, you know, it's likely to be... Not a great use of a bomb there. Which it's likely to be pretty high after you pick up anti-grav, because it's a tiers upgrade of a certain magnitude. Also, it hard counters a lot of enemies. Like, Pin is pretty much fucked when you're fighting him using anti-grav. I mean, he's pretty much fucked to begin with, you know. He's a pretty easy enemy. I say as he comes about, you know, a second away from smashing enemy. You get the point, though. Wonder if we can get him here? Not even close. Alright. That time, though. We know this is tears up, isn't it? No, it's tears up on the last run. It's health up on this one. Okay. So now we've pretty much overcome the... that was very lucky. We've pretty much overcome the health penalty that we had from when we picked up 9 lives. We should definitely pop that. Good. Good. I don't like that the masks can actually break the shots themselves. This doesn't help me at all. Maybe if I had, like, the virus, it would work. But anyway, I don't like the masks because they can block the shots here. Makes it a little trickier on me. I would like to have a, if we could get one more penny so we can actually go to the black market on the next floor. Not black market, but blood bank on the next floor. So now that we have 5 HP on this life, this is... Considering where we are in the game, that's pretty lucky right there. Considering where we are in the game, we're probably getting roughly to the point where I would like to... I'd feel less comfortable giving up all of my HP in order to pick up some deals with the devil, but we'll see, and we'll kind of cross that bridge as we come to it. The thing is, it becomes less likely for you to be able to, you know, get that HP back in the future, but we'll see. How's it going, Tomo? You doing all right? You gonna eat the Kindle? It's not good for pretty much anyone involved in the situation here. I think, even though I said I would love to have a chance at the arcade on the next floor, and I would, especially if there were a demon judgment in there, I think our best chance here is going to be to buy a spirit heart in here if we can, and we can, and maybe get super lucky, get a little bit of money out of these, and still have a chance for the arcade on the next floor. Oh, we're 1 cent shy. 1 cent short? I mean, that sounds like a ska band. 1 cent shy is like a Motion City soundtrack, kind of like emo rock type thing. Sunny Day Real Estate. Don't meow at me unless you got something important to meow about. Oh shit, he gave me a death. I was just joking, man. See, the joke is that I can lightly mistreat you with my language as long as I put it in a happy tone, because you'll feel comfortable with that because you don't understand the English language. But now that he's giving me that knowing look, I'm not totally sure. So this Joker card is pretty much a failsafe. If we don't get a deal with the devil, then we, oh, there's Taurus. If we don't get a deal with the devil, then we, can force our way into a deal with the devil. Of course, the ideal situation for this is that we pick up, like, Goat Head on this floor. And as a result, we end up being able to use the Joker card on, like, the Cathedral or something like that. 2 of diamonds, huh? Be careful, self. You know yourself. You know that you're liable to forget things. It's happened oftentimes in the past. However, if you could use 2 of diamonds on this floor, and then make sure you take the Joker with you when you go into the boss fight. Because this way you could probably swing picking up another item. You only need like 4 cents to be able to pick up another item with certainty. And 4 cents is not necessarily a rare situation to find yourself in. The only thing they could really shit on this is if we end up fighting greed. Which is fairly likely. Try to throw a spider bud in here. I should be using him more often, but it's like... It's not that worthwhile. I think Taurus might have saved our ass there. Wouldn't have cost us a deal with the devil right away, but could have gotten there pretty easily. Let's throw 1 bomb down here, see if we can get a better tarot card. Hierophant, that's a lovely tarot card with a lovely, interesting purpose right now. If we are mathematically gonna get a deal with the devil, like if we played our cards 100% right and we would get a deal with the devil, now that is pretty much like 85% guaranteed. That's a very confusing sentence. Basically, I'm saying if there's a deal with the devil to be had on this floor, without the use of the Joker card, we can do it. And I'm going to come down here first, just on the off chance we got something good there, and it didn't really work out for us. Now, I know how this all goes sour, by the way. It all goes sour when I walk on those spikes on the way back and then take some stupid damage against another enemy that I shouldn't be taking stupid damage against, like perhaps Larry Senior here. But we're still kicking it with 1.5 Spirit Hearts. This could hurt. You know, Shielded Tears don't do a whole lot for us here, but actually, I can't believe we got out of that without getting hit. That's pretty extraordinary. Still only at 6 cents. I'd like to get to like 15 and then double it so that we could conceivably play this Judgment as well. It's a Magician card, obviously. Hey, we don't have to come back this way, so that's a really good sign for me for not accidentally walking over those spikes. Unless we're on Curse of the Maze or something. Which I don't believe we are. Alright, now that they're getting close, we'll just pop that. They only need to get hit by like 2 of these shots, or 1 of those shots to get killed, but that was a little closer than I'd like to admit. Easy enough. Mom fight I don't think is going to be a problem, but this is one of the very few runs where I don't really feel comfortable calling it a 1 run or a lost one. A lost run right now. There's just too much potential on all sides. You know, I will take Cursed Eye. I'm sticking to my guns on Cursed Eye. Occasionally, Cursed Eye will totally fuck me. Also, this makes anti-grav basically worthless. Occasionally, Cursed Eye will totally fuck me. Most of the time, I really like the charge shots, man. I think that I'm a brave enough individual here to admit I think that Cursed Eye was a bad choice there because I would be putting out more tears per second if I could just hold the button down without having to constantly think about how often to let go of the button, you know? I could really load up like a lot of shots, make it easier on myself. Ah, not very smart. There's Taurus. Yeah, I'll admit, I think that was a dumb decision. Now the question will be whether or not we can recover from said some dumb decision and, you know, still make something wonderful happen on this run. And that's a good start there. Alright, I'm gonna Hermit card back here. I'm gonna blow this shit up. Is BFF my #1 priority? Not really, honestly. I kind of think that the Judgment is a little bit more important. So I'm going to play the Judgment first. And, you know, it's possible we might get bombs back from that Judgment to blow up the donation machine some more. But now we're at 30 cents, and oh, but we have no bombs! So, I mean, we might have to go back here and buy something first. But anyway, I think that the Judgment should pay out, assuming we can get a bomb here. Which we cannot. Alright, so we'll be buying BFF. That's another subpar decision, in my opinion. Another pretty fly, not particularly useful. Figured we just buy ourselves out. I'm gonna hold on to 2 cents just in case we actually do find a way to get to that Judgment, but let's be honest, it's pretty unlikely. Alright, how many ways can I screw over a run in a very short amount of time? I don't think the Cursed Eye decision is gonna fuck us. Like, this is me tap shooting. It's quite fast, but... And even, like, if I just hold it for, like, not even... Let's do a half second, so, like, you know, 1 Mississippi is 1 second. Let's do... Ready? 1, 1, 1. I mean, that's pretty good. We're doing like 4 shots every half second there. But I do think that there's like a loss of efficiency as a result of not just being able to hold the button down. Whether that's chalked up to human error or whatever, doesn't really matter right now. Okay. Let's go fight Mom. All we need to do is like not get hit 4 times or so. And then I think we have a very good chance of getting a deal with the devil. Could be a deal with the angel, but the deal with the angel could be good. I'm not going to sweat it too much. And this is another situation where, like, anti-grav would have been awesome, because actually, if we had anti-grav, we would be able to see where the shadow is and just, like, drop shots on top of the shadow, thereby giving us a very good... Oh, that was way shorter than I expected. Very good ability to basically just get Mom to step directly onto our bullets and take a ton of damage. We wouldn't even have to really think about it. But as you can see, I mean... When we get the opportunity to tap shoot at something that's a relatively stationary target, we're doing a lot of damage pretty quickly, so... I don't think it screwed us as much as I maybe thought. But of course, this will all depend on whether or not I get hit and teleport out of the fight after being like 90% of the way through it, you know? More than 90 in this case. No deal with the devil. Alright, so to free up space, and because, you know, in my philosophy, all deals with the devil are pretty much created equal. Wow. We're going to try that. And to be honest with you, It's a bad deal with the devil by traditional standpoints, but the fact that it got us the Guppy's head, second Guppy item, and it's a much better Guppy item than, or it's a much better spacebar item, I should say, than Spider Butt, that's pretty good. Now, Curse of the Blind is a little dangerous here. We can still pretty much just fill the screen with shots and wait for enemies to show up and get fucked, but I think we do have a win in this run, and I don't think it's going to be that hard to get it. The obvious shortcut is we just pick up one more Guppy item, but even short of that, I think piercing shots would sell it. You know, I think we stand a reasonable chance of not taking damage on late game boss fights because of our Halo of Flies and Shielded Tears. I'm going to try it. I do not regret that, actually. Anytime you're low on keys and opening golden chests, obviously the number one thing you want to see is, that was dumb. The number one thing you want to see is more keys. I don't know. Is this good? We're not going to get the consumables that I want from fighting Greed, but we're going to get a Steam sale. So effectively that was a total waste, but it's okay. I was disappointed that I teleported out of that room, actually, because I was like, well, if we take damage, at least when we finish the room, we'll pick up a Spirit Heart. But because I took damage twice and then teleported out on the second one, that sucks. I'll admit, you know. I mean, I was having some buyer's remorse as soon as I picked it up, basically. I'm not trying to sell my decision in a positive light here. I think we would have been better off without Cursed Eye. Bad trip. Yeah, it's a great pill to be holding on to when we have a lot of red hearts. Hopefully, we never have to use it. And more keys is always good because I'm banking on a Guppy's tail pickup. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I think there's a pretty good chance of one more Guppy item showing up. Curse rooms, red chests randomly, Ultra Pride fight. Probably a lot less of a chance of the Ultra Pride fight, but you get the idea. I have been looking for tinted rocks on this floor, by the way. I kind of have a tinted rock switch I turn on and off as is needed. Oh, this is all right. I have my tinted rock switch off right now, or on right now, I should say, but I haven't found anything, so I don't know if maybe I'm just an idiot about it. All right, this is actually pretty dangerous. I would love Taurus to activate soon. We got lucky to get out of the way there. Yeah, so Taurus activating soon is huge so that I can get in here. I'm even going to put a bomb down to speed it up. And because Taurus makes us invincible against the spikes, which is like a really difficult thing to avoid on this fight unless you can fly. I think like over 50% of the time I get here, I can actually fly, but if you can't, you got issues. So this now becomes a very interesting run based on the fact that we got snubbed for a deal with the devil on that floor, and now have no reasonable expectations of getting more for the rest of the game. Now the chances of becoming Guppy do go down. Absolutely no question about that. I think like my shots are bigger than his, but I guess I should have just waited for Taurus there anyway. 7 keys. It's a good situation. And Taurus is very quickly becoming kind of like the main thing that makes me a little bit more confident in this run. Not necessarily because it's particularly strong in its own right, but because it gives me that period of invincibility. So if I could just pick up one offensive orbital, doesn't even need to be like Sacrificial Dagger, but I wouldn't mind it, I would be a much happier person right now. But we can't really rely on that because there's going to be no items for the rest of the game. I will say it's been a pretty quick run for a run that's not particularly, you know, traditionally strong. However, maybe I'm letting my very positive experience on the last run kind of color that, you know what I mean? Like, we did so much damage on the last run that maybe we're actually doing amazing damage here, but because it's not quite, you know, one-shotting every single enemy and then hitting the, you know, difficult enemies with 2 Chaos cards. Could be a little bit of an issue. How's it going over there, Kate? We got back from PAX yesterday, and the cats have been very, very touchy-feely. I think they may have missed us. Tears Up is nice here, although, again, with Cursed Eye, I was going to say Counterfeit Penny. There comes a point where even I'm, like, offended at my own inability to say these items that I've had forever. Calling Cursed Eye Counterfeit Penny is pretty much where I draw said line. But anyway, the health upgrades are extremely potent, though, because basically I don't want to say they're twice as useful as they otherwise would be, but because we have Bad Trip, they're a lot more useful than they otherwise would be, even if it's not double. And they're only that useful, you know, one time. For your mind one time, yeah, whatever, but still, it's better than nothing. Now, we have been hit a couple of times on this floor. I think I'm getting a little too cocky in our damage and making some poor mistakes. I was really expecting that to pay out with an HP upgrade, just because of the absurdity of the situation. Like, it just got trapped right behind that rock. I was like, it must be a sign. It was not a sign. One more? Two more. Just one more, I guess. Pretty good. There's something to be said for Bible Tract, but you know what? There's something to be said for company loyalty as well, and Liberty Camp has been pretty loyal to us for quite some time, so I'm not looking to necessarily get rid of it right now. I'd rather reward it for being such a important part of our company culture here. I don't know why I took Lemon Party into this. I think I was like, well, I can drop this like in the middle and it'll hit some of the minions that Mom spawns, but it actually won't. And it won't hit Mom either. I figured I'd just give it a try there. And, you know, Taurus' strength is not whittling down high damage bosses, or high HP bosses. It is definitely like, you know, rooms where you're likely to get hit, but can avoid it with some creativity. Now, Lemon Party did take care of the Eyeless Ooze guys that spawned, at least the first wave. Now, Mom should take care of the other ones that spawn. Bad damage on my part, but HP is still holding relatively strong, and we do still have our bad trip pill here if necessary. I'm going to try this for some extra red hearts. I figured it was worth a shot. May have been wrong, but that's okay. We find ourselves in a relatively wild position here. This could go either way. Curse of the Unknown is not actually Curse of the Unknown, because we can pretty easily figure out how much HP we have based on, come on. Based on whether or not this bad trip pill says bad trip or whether it says full health. So that's actually an awesome situation to find ourselves in. And this is definitely one of those runs where it's basically just like, hey, take yourself down to the chest, and then I wouldn't even say hope for great items, like hope to get carried, because I think we've almost been carried already. But just hope for, you know, a couple of good things would go a long way. Piercing shots would go a long way. A wafer or a holy mantle or a cancer or something like that would go a long way. Cricket's body, the parasite, you know. Cool synergies. And then boring items, which are also great. Come on. I know you got something for me there. Trickle Charge. I don't think Trickle Charge does much, if anything, for us. The Devil's pretty good, but I gotta be honest, our full health pill is probably a lot more valuable for us here, especially on a Curse of the Unknown floor where we don't really know what's coming for us. I was really expecting this to be the right way, by the way, but you can't always get what you want, I suppose. I remember that's what One Direction said in their iconic original song. People still get mad about that comment, and it just tickles my fancy to this day. People be like, that's not One Direction, Northern Line, that's the Rolling Stones. And I don't know, I think you appear to be mistaken. Don't associate the Rolling Stones with that shitty band. I don't know, I'm pretty sure that was written by the wonderful members of One Direction. You got a curly-haired guy, and one of the guys has, like, Styles in his name. And then you got, I think there's a blonde one. I don't know, they're probably this generation's most talented artists. Definitely it's smartest, but then, you know, that doesn't always correlate 100% to talent. But in this case it did, clearly. Okay, so I'm going to stop with that conversation, because people are going to take it seriously. And this has pretty much got to be our way to the boss fight now. I think it's worth taking the chance here with the cost of only one bomb. And this is just a straight up full health pill, so I'll pop this one right now. I don't think it really makes a difference whether you have bad trip or full health. You know what, it does. It's better to have a full health pill, admittedly. Because then, if you have some spirit hearts backing you up, you can use it, whereas bad trip doesn't take that into account, unfortunately. I thought it did in vanilla, but I'm pretty confident it does not in Rebirth. But maybe it didn't in vanilla anyway. You know, there's like 5 different axes on which I could be wrong there. Well, we should be totally fine for this Isaac fight then. Just if you take damage, pay attention. Make sure that you're aware of the fact that bad trip will become full health if it needs to. You know what? I'm actually going to stand further back. Well, until now. What I wanted to do was make sure that there was no chance of me teleporting. And it's pretty unlikely that it'll be hit, but if I'm going to be hit, it's going to be by one of those, you know, radial shots or by a beam of light. So this is really like the most dangerous part of the fight for me. If I get hit by a cricket's body shot, which just sounds gross, but if I get hit by a cricket's body shot or a beam of light, there's a reasonable chance that I could teleport. So I'm of two minds. I could play it super slow here and try to, you know, get through it without getting hit with the highest percentage chance, or I could play it super fast and try to get him out of this stage so that I spend less time having to worry about this stuff. He's so close to being gone. He's lucky he spawned some of his children in the way of my bullets there. Okay, the good news is we reach a full charge and thus teleportation immunity very quickly. Alright, that's done. We should be, like, completely fine. Yeah, and our damage is good enough that he's not getting, like, 2 waves in each of those situations, which is really important. And of course with Shielded Tears, like Shielded Tears is what is making me not punished completely for the Cursed Eye pickup. Because basically, the best offense is a good, or the best defense is a good offense in this situation. I can just tap the button as hard as I want, as fast as I want. And not really find myself at too much of risk of anything bad happening to me. And now it all becomes a matter of, is 1 full health regeneration enough? Ooh. Is 1 full health regen enough to allow us to beat the chest if we get nothing from the chest items, which is something that happens occasionally? I think the answer is probably yes. But it'll be interesting to see. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Tiny Planet. Pyro. Charm of the Vampire. Revenge Fly is extremely important here. Because I am an idiot, I will take Tiny Planet. I don't think there's any reason not to take Lifesteal. And we'll take Pyro as well. The jury's out on whether or not we actually got anything here. But, I mean, I figured we'd already gone for the absurd on this run. Why don't we take the 2 items that probably have, like, the worst reputation? Tiny Planet and Cursed Eye. Well, Butterbean has the worst reputation, but you get the idea. The truth be... I mean, I almost said truth be told, but then I got in my own head and was like, I've said that too much. But anyway, the truth of the situation is, at least from my hunch here, I don't actually know that Tiny Planet makes this run worse. I certainly don't think it necessarily makes it better, but I don't necessarily think it makes it worse either. And I'll admit, Taurus is bettered by the appearance of Revenge Fly. This is not, you know, an out-of-control run by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not that bad, in spite of all the bad items we have. And actually, not only does Revenge Fly make Taurus better after we've been hit, but it actually is, it's super tight to our person here, like our player character, but it is an offensive orbital, even if it's sometimes hard to see. So this will be pinned. Oh, and there we go, we've taken damage. Get Taurus going as soon as possible, and Revenge Fly will probably deal with the rest. See, Revenge Fly is real good, man. I mean, everyone knows Revenge Fly is good. I'm not breaking the mold or anything by saying that. Okay, Infestation 2 is also amazing. If we didn't have a 1-run before, we've got a better chance at it now. Like, this is why I don't know if Tiny Planet it makes us better or worse, I guess. Is because, like, does it actually, that Spirit Art's very important. When the shots break something in Tiny Planet, do they keep traveling? Because even without piercing shots, they tend to do that with Tiny Planet. So if that works that way for us in this situation, then that's, you know, wonderful. That was very stupid of me, should not stand there. If it doesn't work like that, I think it's pretty much 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Probably makes us a little bit better defensively because it takes down shots from all angles, but a little bit worse offensively because it's harder to hit things. The other thing is we could straight up just use bombs for everything if we wanted to. Probably should take care of War first if it's doable. In this situation, I don't want to charge at all. Because I could just walk on creep so easily. I really thought our spider would handle it for us there. There we go. It was close. Come on, we got to be going the right way here. All right, we'll take War first if we can. If we can't, that's also fine. As he says as he goes like full-on killing Famine. Whatever. We killed Famine. It's one less asshole to deal with. This is good. It's fine. Should not have done that. Definitely. What's my confidence at with, like, this being the right direction? Not particularly high. Why did I... Probably should have, you know, realized it was a dead end before I came back for my second attempt there, you think? Revenge Fly. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, if we know that that's the wrong way, we'll come this way then. And this is the... once every run after you pick up Cursed Eye, you gotta have this moment where you're like, oh, Cursed Eye is gonna fuck me and I'm an idiot. We haven't quite hit that moment yet, but we could be coming pretty close to it here. And of course, the less damage you do, the larger the floors always seem. And that's exactly where we are right now. We are on quite a long floor by my interpretation here. Well, that was not particularly confidence boosting. Okay, now's the time to probably start throwing down bombs just to speed up our endeavor a little bit here. Why do I say endeavor without putting space station or space shuttle in front of it? Seems like such a waste. Ah, there we go. I gotta enhance my inside jokes here. Not that, you know, something from NASA's an inside joke, anyway. I'm actually very excited by the fact that we picked up ramming speed, and I never say that, but the fact that we picked up ramming speed should make us do a lot more damage with Taurus, which might be the only thing we need to really pull us off the top. Now I'm actually less worried about actually beating the run, and I'm more worried about, like, can we beat the run without me having to use this bad trip pill? If we have to use it, shit happens, man. That's no big deal. But if we don't have to use it, that would be a little bit of a confidence boost for me, and you know what? I'm starting to think that we may not have to use it. Now, if I die by not using it, or die because I didn't use it, I'll feel like the biggest idiot in the whole world. Hopefully, that situation does not present itself. Don't make me feel like I totally fucked up for taking Cursed Eye. That's all I'm asking for right now. There we go. Okay, now get this damage done this way. Gets like a brief immunity to it. Not nearly as much damage as I would have liked. That's okay. I think at this point, maybe we just want to kind of throw some bombs in there and let Revenge Fly do what it does. Like, I almost don't even want to charge at all here. Like, if I shoot, there's a chance of me dying. So if I just kind of hang back and, you know, occasionally get hit, that seems totally fine. Like, this is actually going really well. Get a bomb in there, do some crowd control, get some Infestation 2 spiders based on my own kills. You know, get some freaking flies every time I get hit thanks to Nun's Habit. This is going to be a win, and it happened in a bit of a weird way, but it's a win nonetheless, and that's somewhat all that matters, isn't it? Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal, and of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.